Hello everyone! Today something just ridiculous happened. So as you know, there was already one scene from episode 74 that was uploaded by Boom in YouTube Shorts yesterday, and the majority of analysts already did their analyses on it. But I was very unsure of whether should I analyze this scene being isolated from the whole episode or wait until the actual release of episode 74 and analyze it in full. And I was so confident that the episode will come tonight that I decided to cancel the analysis of the first scene. But guess what happened today? Instead of uploading the full episode, Boom gave us another scene, and this scene really caught my attention. So today, I'm definitely going to analyze it, and also I'll tell you everything you need to know about the first scene as well. And spoiler alert, you won't find this information anywhere but on this channel. What was the true reason for G-Man to assemble this squad consisting of the best Skibidi in his army? What did Titan TV Man really said, and why subtitles are lying to you? And most importantly, what is the actual motif of Titan TV Man, and why he may be the true reason for episode 74 being the craziest in the series? Get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because this is going to be really interesting. Let's go. And I would like to start by saying that this whole situation is really mind-blowing to me because I can't remember such an advertisement strategy from Boom before at all. He never posted clips from the actual episodes, and well, the main reason for that was that his earlier Skibidi episodes were much shorter, and there wouldn't be much sense in dividing them in several parts. But now when the episodes are already crossing the line in being more than 6 minutes long, I can see why Boom would choose such a tactic. And also I think it's worth saying that Elite Cameraman mentioned episode 74 being actually longer than 6 minutes as it was spoiled to him by Boom. And it's just crazy. And well, okay, it's one thing when he posts a single clip to build up the hype, but I'd never think that he'd post the second one instead on an actual episode. So it seems to me that Boom may face some troubles at uploading the video on YouTube again, because he already had some rendering issues before even when the episode itself was completely ready. But thankfully we also got a clip from one more animator, where it was stated that if episode not gonna come out on May 31st, then it's gonna be the first day of June. But it's funny how it's kind of controversial to the earlier Boom statement in Steak's interview, where he promised that the episode will come out in May. So yeah, I think the episode comes out on June 1st, although it still surprised me a lot and even made me break my schedule a little bit. But I have a perfect opportunity to fill this blank space now and analyze both scenes. So let's start with the first one, which I had to miss yesterday. Okay, and the first scene, titled Azog Squad Assembles, starts with the image of switching to another camera screen. And we've already seen a similar shot in episode 71, which featured several POVs. But here's one interesting detail that I've noticed though. In episode 71, the new POV receives the information from the first POV's camera via the tablet in his hands. And that's why this switch starts with the POV looking at his tablet first. While in the scene Squad Assembles, we didn't see this detail, and we started watching the current events from the new POV's camera immediately. And the first thing that we see via his camera is the epic return of DJ Skibidi. And oh man, this guy has already become a legend among Skibidi fans, so I am really happy that Boom brought him back. But I am sure that it wasn't a coincidence that he brought back the most iconic or beloved Skibidi characters in this scene, and why I'm thinking so I'll tell you a little bit later. Okay, so it looks like DJ Skibidi gets ready to give us another epic comeback, because it seems that he's in a better shape and in the new, larger body now, and he's also getting repaired and upgraded right in the moment by this Skibidi welder. And there's also another one that is partially hidden, so this boy really gets the best service now. I wish this dude the best, and he'd better have much more fun this time than he had in the first part of episode 70. And DJ is not the only character whose return I was waited for such a long time already, because afterwards we hear the iconic hee-hee sound in slowed and reverb, and Skibidi Jackson also appears on our screens. And I didn't notice any major changes in his equipment or design, so I guess it was added by Boom more for his aesthetics. Although it's a powerful toilet on his own, he may look weaker in comparison to other monsters that this G-Man squad has, but he is still an awesome addition to them because he's still much stronger than an average Skibidi toilet. And I know that some guys love this character the way I do, and some actually despise him for being a culprit of so many troubles that led to terrible consequences for the Alliance in general. But let me be real, the concept of this Skibidi still rocks, and I think that his appearance in episode 69 was one of the best moments to ever exist in this series. So this dude gets a pass from me. although I'm almost sure that he won't be active in the upcoming epic battle for way too long. And next to him there is a Skibidi mutant that we've also seen before. And it is the police mutant with crescents from the first part of episode 72. And the thing is that he wasn't actually finished in this episode, although POV Mecha Cameraman was getting ready to put some heavy fatality on him with his own crescent. But then G-Man appeared and sent Mecha into the stratosphere together with this damn crescent. And guess what? That's why in this exclusive scene, this police mutant is missing one of his crescents, so he has just one instead of two. And it's also hilarious that he wasn't even repaired in the right way too. His rocket launchers are placed in the wrong position, and he looks pretty goofy now. And then another famous mutant appears. And this time it's our well-known Gym Bro from the first part of episode 73. And although my brother was pretty much cooked the last time I saw him, I didn't see any terrible injuries on him. And the only thing about him that was changed is these glasses. And I must tell you that I like the newer version much better. Plus, it wouldn't really make any sense to have the old ones after all these crazy falls and jumps that this dude went through in episode 73. But it's kind of possible that he could have been healed as the rest of the G-Squad here. But I don't really know what is he even doing here though, because Camera Woman is not around and my poor bro has nobody to flirt with. What a bummer, dude. But thankfully he still has someone to stick to. Because then the Gym Bro turns to the side and exclaims, "Skibidi dop dop, yes, yes!" frantically, when he sees an iconic Rizsaw Skibidi mutant with katanas, which basically became the star of episode 71 back in the days. But wasn't it G-Man who flirted with him in there, though? It seems like the katana dude is really popular and has lots of fans. And also check out what happens the two move to each other. They actually shake hands like old buddies. And two things really surprised me in here. The first one is that Skibidi mutants shook hands one with another because they've never done that before, and it was only the members of the Alliance or Titans that used to do it. And the second thing is that they use their left hands for this shake and not the right ones that the Alliance's agents use. Does that mean that Skibidi have a mirrored vision of their surroundings? Or am I reaching here, guys? And then the most anticipated member of this squad shows up to the party, and it's G-Man himself. And of course he had to appear with blasts and explosives, because why the heck not? And here's one detail that caught my attention. If we'll remember the first leak that Boom uploaded in his Instagram with G-Man's face, we could see that his right eye socket still seems to be damaged after the previous episode, even though the knife was gone. And if we'll compare his face from the leak to his face in this scene, then we'll see that he actually doesn't have an eyeball, and instead, his eye socket seems to be sewn with threads just to cover an ugly empty space or something like that. And his face still looks really cooked and bumpy, although it's obvious that he still got some help from his engineers and welders. And this once again proves the point that this G-Man is the real one, and definitely not a fake toilet. And this is his real face because all of his injuries are at place. And if he was another puppet, his skin texture could have been easily replaced. So yeah, the stakes are high with this guy. And what also interested me is that his core was literally empty, and I think it happened because he wasted all of his energy fleeing away from Titan TV Man. And before leaving the area, G-Man tells a few words in Skibidi language to his squad buddies. And based on his face expression, he is not in a very bright mood. He's really serious and cold. And I think he's behaving like that because right in the moment his life is in real danger now. And the stakes are high. He's exhausted and uses his last resources to keep fleeing, so there is no time for kidding around anymore. And now let's remember the description for this part of the episode, which goes like, G-Toilet and Skibidi Squad escapes in the city, which means that G-Man is not prepared for the final battle this time, and he really is fleeing to get himself together. And he recovered best of his soldiers to cover his back and to serve more as a hindrance to the Alliance chasing him. Although I think that it's more unserious for these squad members because they're really excited to show themselves off, it seems to me, while G-Man is much colder and stricter. And after G-Man leaves, all these Chads have finally noticed the POV who was standing there all this time and pointed their eyes into his direction. Everyone is smiling eerily, except for the police mutant who's slowly approaching the POV to finish him off. The cameraman quickly turns away and runs to the closest way out, but guess what? He was already been waited on in there. And dude, what in the name of Sigma male this Skibidi is? And I am not really sure whether this Skibidi is the same Rizsaw toilet we saw just a second earlier, or maybe this is his sassy twin, and this whole trap for the POV was already staged. And of course, I couldn't help but mention this freaky ending with the police mutant jumping on POV from behind like a crazy jump scare from an indie horror game. And by the way, an ending like this really brought me back to the old times when almost every single one of Boom's earlier episodes used to end with the destruction of its POV. And it also proves my initial theory that we'll see multiple POVs in this episode, just as it was in episode 71, because it actually ends with another image of switching cameras. And it means that in the next scene after this one, we'll get a new POV. And now let's move to the second scene that Boom uploaded today instead of an actual episode. And this scene was just crazy, and I nearly lost my mind over it. And this scene also opens with switching to different camera, so it's possible that we see this scene right after the destruction of the previous POV. And I must tell it to you right now, the vibe of the second scene was so different from the first one. And if I didn't know that it was officially posted on Boom's channel, I would think it was fan-made or something like that. It was just so weirdly lighthearted and rizzy. And it just didn't hold up after the events that we saw in episode 73. Why is everyone so bold like they're high or something? What's up with these weird low-texture speakermen dancing around? And what the hell is Titan TV Man doing in here in the first place? Because I'm pretty damn sure that he was supposed to go chase G-Man down. So why would he return to his useless injured brothers? But let's go step by step, because that's going to be really messy. So the first thing that really put me off guard in this scene was the appearance of Titan TV Man himself. At the end of episode 73, he teleported away in order to catch G-Man. At least that's what I thought. And he clearly left two of his teammates behind because it looked like he wasn't considering them worthy allies anymore. So why the heck is he back? And moreover, why is he talking to them and telling them the same point that was already obvious to all of us an episode ago? Why lose all this precious time that he could have spent chasing G-Man? Well, let me tell you something, this is not the craziest thing in this scene yet. So keep watching as it will go just insane. The second thing that really caught me off guard in this video was the dance that Titan Speaker Man made after hearing Titan TV Man's words. And not only was it pretty silly, but it was also the very first time we saw Titan Speaker Man doing it. And I've also noticed plenty of weird stuff in the background. I noticed a pretty funny reference to the iconic Speakerman who was riding a toilet in episode 25, and something like him also appeared in episode 66. Plus, there were two Speakermen that could be seen dancing Default Dance from Fortnite. And also, my eyes caught this green Speakerman because he was placed in the way so that we'd pay attention to him, so who knows, maybe we'll see more of him later. But what baffled me the most is, why are all these dancing Speakermen of some poor quality in here? It really looked like Boom changed some parts of the original scene and put them over some other ones, and that's why they look so seemingly undercooked. And that got me thinking, what if the most part of this leaked scene is not real? And maybe in the actual episode, lots of stuff in there is going to be changed. But what if I'll tell you that there are already some details in this scene that fooled you? And it's the subtitles of Titan TV Man reversed speaking. So despite having subtitles right on my screen, I still went and listened to TV Man's audio myself. And here's what I found. So in the beginning of this scene, Titan TV Man really says, "They're weak. Perfect time to attack." And during that, he watches over two other Titans who think that he's talking about Skibidi toilets in that moment. And then he adds with a smirk, "Not for you, crippled bros. You two are going home." And this kind of surprised me as well, because it would mean that the previous leak from One More Animator about Titans going to fight anyways would turn out to be false. And the reaction of two Titans is also really weird. Why are they celebrating their inability to fight? They are supposed to be really mad instead. It just doesn't go along with their characteristic traits at all. And here's the most important part. After seeing Titan Speakerman dancing, Titan TV Man puts a really sassy emoji onto his face and says, "Today this war ends." But what if I'll tell you that he said something else? Because when I listened to his words reversed, I've heard "today this will end." Because the word war seemed to be muted, and maybe there was another word under it. Listen to it yourselves. Why would he say any other word clear except for war, then? Considering how bizarre this whole scene was, and that it looked like Boom simply changed some parts of it before the episode's release, I got some really crazy interpretation of it. What if all these words we've heard Titan TV Man saying were not applied to Skibidi toilets at all, but to Titans themselves instead? They are really injured and weak, and it would be the perfect time to attack them as well. And that's why Titan TV Man didn't go chasing G-Man, because it wasn't his original plan. What if all of this was some vile play, and he may turn against his own kind after all? That would explain really sinister and wrong vibe of this scene, and that would also explain the TV Men books in the Skibidi bunker you must have already forgotten about. And I don't really know why he would do that, but he behaves absolutely erratically in this scene. He does so many stupid and illogical moves that I just cannot explain. So what if he's changed as a character? And who knows? Maybe the green juice that affected him in episode 73 also plays its part in all this. Right now it's so weird it literally blows my mind, and probably yours as well. But I am pretty sure that this scene was a huge setup for something global. And the way Boom plays with our brains is done for one big reason: to make us feel that the upcoming episode will truly be just huge, and there will be some insane plot twist that will change everything. But what if it's going to be connected not to Simp Cameraman or Astro Toilets, but to Titan TV Man instead? And that was all for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, hit the like button below and also be sure to write a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube and Discord channels not to miss my new interesting videos. And that was me, Iso Toilet. See ya!